Alright, guys and girls, you know what time it is. It is time for Eating America. This is where I take you on a virtual tour of the United States, recreating and trying the iconic foods that made us. Past couple videos, we spent a lot of time in the upper Midwest. We're going to move away from that directly west to sunny California. And before you ask, no, I'm not going to be making the California burrito because right now it is overplayed. Everybody's done it. But you know what no one is showing love to right now? The iconic sandwich that became the staple at the heart of the American culture. And it is none other than the Monte Cristo Sandwich. Despite its French origins, the version that we know today, the sweet, savory, rather confused kind of sandwich, was coined the Monte Cristo and I think first served in restaurants in the late 40s. I'll have the actual date below in the editing. And San Diego, California. And this became so popular, it became a staple at Disneylands everywhere across the country. And at the heart of American culture is Disney. So we could not ignore this gigantic sandwich revolution known as the Monte Cristo. And there's also another reason why we could not do this. And that's because it is a request video by none other than Lois Hunt. So Lois, you'll have your name tagged in the title of this video. The wait is over. So let's cut the talking and get directly into the sandwich, starting with the custard cream. There's really not a reason to do a voiceover for this video because this is stupid quick to make. So let's go ahead and do it step by step, starting with a simple custard cream like you're doing for a French toast. This is 4 large eggs, and then we're just going to add a splash of half and half. You can use heavy whipping cream or milk. We're going to get that whisked together. All right, now I've seen some people use savory custard creams to make their Monte Carlos with like spices and stuff like that. We're going for the original. So in this container are the seasonings for your French toast batter, which is 1 teaspoon each of granulated sugar and cinnamon, and a half a teaspoon of nutmeg. You don't have to do this step, but to make it a little bit next level, we're just going to add a small splash of vanilla. This will elevate your French toast game to notches unknown. All right, and then as we do with our sweets, we're just going to add just a tiny shake of kosher salt to bring out the flavors. All right, custard cream is done. Let's start assembling our sandwiches. All right, it's time for sandwich assembly. So this is some nice brioche bread. You do ideally want brioche bread. Now, can you make it with like regular shelf-stable white bread? Of course you can, but that is kind of a flimsy bread to make this with, and it won't turn out nearly as good. Now, I was going to make some homemade brioche. I had everything and still have everything to make this, yet none of the time. And that's what my work schedule is like, guys. I can't even keep a potted plant alive. All right, so we've got some nice quality store-bought brioche. This is it, guys. I'd highly recommend using this over anything else. So traditionally, you would put mayo on one side of this bread and then raspberry jam on the other side. I'm kind of leery of that. I got kind of a difficult palate for someone that has an elevated set of taste buds. I don't like to mix a lot of sweet and savory, although I do like this sandwich. It just doesn't make sense why I like it. So I don't like mayo. So for mine, I'm going to use some nice softened, unsalted butter because we are going to need some fat, something to lubricate this bread, because with all the meat that goes on it and then the cheese, it will get kind of dry. So I'm just going to put on some unsalted butter on mine, on both sides. I've seen other people do it with mayo and Dijon on one side, or mayo and mustard on one side, and then the other side is just raspberry preserves. Now, I don't have any on hand, so we're going to do this without it. Now, the wife's sandwich is right here. We're just going to do a plop of mayo on both sides. All right, so traditionally, I think this sandwich was served as like a club-style sandwich with 3 pieces of bread, the heel, the club, the crown. Now, you can do it that way, but we're just doing the simple 2-piece bread version regular sandwich. Now, the traditional way goes with turkey and ham. You can do it with just ham, or you can do it with just turkey. The wife doesn't like ham, so hers is just going to be plain turkey. Alright, before we start piling on meats here, let's talk about the cheese. We're using some nice Swiss cheese today. We'll have cheese on both sides of the bread. Now, rumor has it that traditionally this was made with Gruyere cheese, or Gruyere cheese, however you want to say that. But that's really not so common in my part of the world. So this Swiss cheese works just fine. I've actually seen Monte Cristos made with regular American cheese. I mean, do what you want. Alright, so these Monte Cristos are supposed to be meaty boys. Now that being said, you don't have to go all out with your meat ingredients here. Lunch meat works just fine, and that's typically what's used. And this is just some nice Black Forest ham. Good flavor. All right, we'll make sure it looks nice and neat like so. And then, boom. First sandwich is assembled. This one's just going to be turkey. And now it's time to give our sandwiches the dunk. I'm just going to kind of press this down here. You at least want the bread to be in this batter, this French toast batter, for about 5 seconds. Soak it up. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Flip it over. Get some nice egg on your camera in the process. Pro move, by the way. All right. First sandwich has been dressed. Now we're going to dunk the second sandwich, and I'll meet you at the stove. So we've got our pan on a medium-high heat. Since there's 2 sandwiches, we have melted off 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And then we're just going to toast these bad boys. This was almost too big for the pan now that I'm seeing it. Oh well, it'll work. So give it about 2 or 3 minutes. We're going to check for crust, then we're going to flip it. Alright, after about 4 minutes, we got some beautiful toastiness happen, so away we go. Look at that. That looks really, really good. So we're going to do this for about another 4 minutes. Alright, so the second side only took about 2 minutes to get to where we need it to be. I'm going to remove this pan off the heat, and we're going to turn this all the way down to a low heat setting. What we're going to do now, let's flip it back over. Look at that. All we're doing now, since there's so much meat and so much cheese, we're going to put it on a low heat setting, cover it with a lid. Make sure all that cheese is nice and gooey, and all that lunch meat that's stacked up on there, we're going to make sure that that is nice and warm. So we're going to do this for about 2 minutes, and then we're going to remove it and finish it off. Alright, and as if this sandwich is already not weird enough to my weird taste buds, we're just going to go ahead and make it snow all over with a generous coating of powdered sugar. So the only thing left to do is to plate it up and try it. And this is a Monte Cristo sandwich. Alright, I've got an idea here. It might work. My brain just has so much trouble comprehending why this sandwich is so good. So let's go ahead and do a little cross section. Oh. Just look at that beauty. Perfectly cooked from the way it looks. Alright. Again, I'm not the biggest on sweet, salty, savory, but I got a feeling, kind of like French toast, this might be a little bit banging with some really good maple syrup. So we're going to try it out. Oh God, I hope that's not too much. That's so good. It has no right being this good. Honestly, guys, all history set aside, it's in my heart that I believe that someone was high when this was created. I don't care if it was back in the 40s. People have been smoking that peace pipe for a long time. And then when them munchies hit, you guys know what I'm talking about. When them munchies hit, He probably didn't know if he wanted breakfast or lunch, so he did the one thing that is violently American. He put them both together. This is, again, like I said, it's a confused sandwich, but it's so delicious. Is it breakfast? Is it lunch? You know what this is? I dubbed this a brunch sandwich. Until next time, this is your boy, the Mad Chef. This has been Eating America. Thank you again, Lois, for this amazing idea. This sandwich is absolutely mind-blowing, so I hope this was a simple and easy recipe for you all. Make it. You won't regret it. It's still blowing my mind. See you in the next video.